It's time for us to speak about the legendary hero tier list. We are going to rate every single legendary hero from the basic heroes to the G5 mages, which is Wardun and Cantman, right? We have S, A, B, and C tier for our heroes, and of course, a lot of players will have a different opinion about my tier list, but I will showcase from my own opinion, from my own gameplay, and of course, I asked my ally members, for example, cavalry mains such as Akil, some mage mains, and of course myself, I'm archer main since the day one, and I have most expertise in terms of archer gameplay, right? Let's not waste too much time and let's start putting the legendary heroes towards the tier list. And first tier which we are going to speak is the C tier, which is the lowest tier, right? Of course, on C tier we're gonna have most of the basic heroes because, well, it's a pretty well-known fact that new heroes generally are the better one than the old ones. That's how Call of Dragons work. So let's start with C tier. First hero in our C tier will be Nika. I believe Nika doesn't do too much damage, is not tanky enough, and that's the only two ways which infantry heroes are rated in Call of Dragons. And whenever I see Nika in open field gameplay, I always target it, and that's it, right? Like, it dies just super fast, which means it's not that great. Also, we're gonna go with the Madeline, not that tanky enough for the Season 1, Season 2. Madeline will be nice, tanky, but not as tanky as we want to have some infantry heroes, right? We're gonna continue with the more, I believe Hosk is not meta. Hosk is really old. You want something more from the Hosk than you have from the next heroes which we are going to have. That's why I believe Hosk will be C tier. Also, one of the weakest flying heroes, which is Bahron. Bahron will be here for sure. Never been meta, not enough damage, not enough tankiness, not enough march speed. Generally, pretty weird flying hero which doesn't really have place in the meta. Not much of the players are using it, so I believe Bahron will go to the C tier. We're gonna move forward and we're gonna put more heroes in C tier, and I honestly believe in the Season 3, Musyang might be even C tier, because Musyang is basically mostly viable with the Celestials, and Celestials have much better hero pairs than Musyang. Also, I'm gonna put Tohar here. I believe Tohar is great for the garrison, and that's it. Basically, yeah, you could easily put Tohar as a B tier, but I'm putting Tohar as a C tier. That's generally what I feel. Also, Kinara and Nico will be C tier. I believe they don't do enough damage. They are basically same tier as any archer hero pair. Only exclusion are Margaret Zaida, Sibyl, and Rubik Island. Other than that, almost every single archer hero does same amount of damage. That's my honest opinion so far for the game, right? Of course, Indies will be C tier. There is some hero pairs which are using Indies, and I believe Indies will stay there for sure, right? Also, I'm putting Syndrion on a C tier. I know a lot of players are having fun with Syndrion and Freygar, but I believe Syndrion, Freygar, Inara, Nico, basically they are same kind of damage dealing hero pair. They are getting almost same kind of merits, and usage of those heroes are same, so that's why I'm putting Syndrion here. I believe Freygar is a little bit better than Freygar is a little bit better than Syndrion actually, right? I believe this should be enough for now for the C tier. Maybe in the future, at the end of the video, I'm gonna put something else when we're gonna conclude, but so far, that's my C tier for the legendary heroes in this game, right? Let's move and let's speak about B tier. B tier heroes are better than C tier, and they are not better than A tier, which is a simple fact, right? That's why let's start with the B tier for our tier list, and I'm gonna put Bertrand on a B tier, not an AoE damage dealing hero pair, but some of the Bertrand hero pairs are doing actually quite nice amount of damage in open field, and that's why I believe Bertrand can be easily B tier for our tier list. Also, I'm gonna put Falgrim here. Falgrim is nice, but not as nice as some of the other heroes which we have in the game. Also, I'm gonna put Garwood. Garwood is really good since we got some healing with the Kuma gameplay, and in general, people understood that healing is quite nice for the open field gameplay. Garwood popularity actually rised, and that's why I'm going to put Garwood on a B tier for here. I'm gonna put Bakshi as a B tier. Bakshi is actually S tier for season 1, but unfortunately, because of the peacekeeping skill, Bakshi's priority is going down, and we have way better cavalry heroes than Bakshi in the game, right? Also, I'm going to put Danfel and Mogro on a B tier, since Danfel is quite better because it gives ranged damage reduction to 4 or 5 allied legions, but I believe whenever I see Danfel and Mogro in open field PvP, I always target them because I feel like they are not as tanky as some other hero pairs for the infantry gameplay. Also, I can easily put Freygar here. Freygar is quite nice, especially if you are using with Wyverns. Actually, one of the best Wyverns legendary hero which we have in the game, right? Also, I got Whelin here. Whelin is also nice, a PvP hero. It's quite good that Whelin is available for free-to-play players in the season 1. One of the best basic legendary mage heroes in the game. So Whelin will be my B tier. Let's move forward. I'm gonna put Goresh and Skogul as one of the best B tier infantry heroes in the game. Of course, after Goresh and Skogul, we have much better infantry heroes in the game. That's why I'm putting them here, right? Also, I'm going to put Thea as a B tier yet again. In season 1 and season 2, Thea was the best flyer legendary hero, but a lot of things have actually changed in the game since the season 1, and that's why I'm putting Thea as a B tier. Also, pretty easily, Thandalin and Thalia is a B tier in my opinion. Basically, B tier and C tier legendary heroes are nothing really special, but they can do job, right? A tier and S tiers are much better if we are comparing them, right? Also, let's go and let's put Theodore and Leah here. Of course, Leah can be used as a garrison leader. That's why we can put Leah somewhere here. But Theodore for sure should be a B tier legendary hero, right? Also, Forondil can be C tier easily. I missed Forondil. Forondil can be B tier and Forondil can be C tier depending on your gameplay. That's what I actually think about this hero. Also, Tobin's main idea is to be tanky. But the new cavalry heroes came out such a way that they are tanky and they plus do a lot of damage. That's why I'm putting Tobin as a B tier. Let's see if I'm not missing anybody, and so far I think I'm not missing anyone throughout the legendary heroes. Of course, at the end of the video, I'm gonna check out one more time. I might make some changes towards the tier list, but so far I believe this is my B tier tier list of the legendary heroes. Let's go and let's speak about A tier. A tier heroes are for the damage dealers are dealing high damage. For infantries, they are really tanky, and for cavalries, they deal damage, they are fast, and for mages, they get a lot of merits. So let's start with the A tier for our tier list, and I will start with Magrat. I will start with Zaida, right? Whenever these two legendary archer heroes came out, for a long time, they were S tier legendary heroes, but finally something better actually is in the game, and finally they are going down by one tier, and they are A tier. They are second best archer hero pair in the game currently for the latest season. Also, I'm gonna put Sibyl here. Sibyl, after the update, got really strong. I won't gonna say Sibyl is S tier, but Sibyl is for sure A tier. The amazing buffs which Sibyl got from the third skill and fourth skill is just super good in my opinion. That's honestly what I believe. Lilia still doing the job, still doing one of the highest amount of damage in the game for the mages, but not the best one, not anymore S tier. That's why I'm putting Lilia as a A tier, especially with the flame artifact. Scorch is still quite good for the Lilia gameplay, and especially if you are going to awaken Lilia, she can also deal AoE damage, which is quite good for the mage gameplay. Also, let's put Emrys. Emrys till this day, one of the favorite cavalry hero for the cavalry players. So many cavalry heroes came out, and for the main part of the cavalry players, Emrys is still A tier. All the skills are super meta, rage accumulation, skill damage increases. That's the both best attributes for the cavalry gameplay so far. I'm also putting Gromara here. I believe Gromara deals huge amount of damage, a little bit more damage than Thalia, but Gromara is also good because she is amazing garrison hero. So yeah, that's why Gromara, a lot of damage. Pretty nice buff for basically every single major hero pair which you are going to put. So I believe Gromara should be A tier. Also, I'm gonna put Lake 1 as A tier. Lake 1 is A tier rally hero. If Lake 1 was PvP hero, I would put Lake 1 as S tier, but because he is a rally hero, I'm going to put him as an A tier. Really tanky, deals some damage, but I believe there is one or two infantry heroes which are better than Lake 1 in the game. Also, I'm going to put on A tier, this might be controversial, but Elomir, I feel like Elomir hero pairs are not tanky enough to be survivable, because yes, I know counterattack damage is a big factor for the infantry players, but I believe infantry players needs to be way more tanky than they are right now in the game. Also, I'm putting Kylan as an A tier, right? I'm putting Kylan as an A tier. Well, simply because Kylan has one less skill. Of course, Kylan has a super amazing synergy with Ruby. And I generally believe that S tier heroes should be mainly PvP heroes whenever we are speaking about open field PvP. That's my honest opinion. Also, Cantman should be A tier. Cantman can't be the best mage hero in the game. Cantman has one less skill, but of course Cantman has amazing synergy towards the Wardun and defense penetration, which is actually super good against infantry heroes. I believe Wardun and Cantman are basically infantry killers for the mage gameplay, and I'm really surprised that they even deal AoE damage thanks to Wardun, but in general I think main idea of Cantman and Wardun is just to decrease as much defense as possible, and that's how you are going to deal a lot of damage. Also, I'm putting Freya as an A tier. Freya could be easily S tier, but there is a slight advantage to other cavalry heroes which we are going to put on S tier. That's the simple reason why I'm putting Freya as an A tier. Also, I was thinking of putting Jorin as an A tier because Jorin is not as tanky as other things in the game, but Jorin deals quite a lot of damage. But maybe I will decide later at the end of the video, right? So that's my A tier for the legendary heroes. Of course, you might have a different opinion. I'm speaking about from my own gameplay, and also I asked my ally members, and I got approved with my tier list. So let's start with S tier. Of course, as an archer player, I'm going to put Ruby as an S tier archer hero, right? Ruby is doing the highest amount of damage. In general, Ruby and Kylan is doing highest amount of merits in archer gameplay with easily. They have AoE damage, they can deal damage basically to a lot of marches, especially great against infantry. And whenever you touch mages with Ruby and Kylan, they are basically destroying them, right? So for sure, I'm putting Ruby as an S tier. I'm going Youngming as a S tier for the mages. Youngming is a super impressive mage hero, doesn't really need rage, which means every single second which you are open field, you are dealing damage to multiple targets, and that's always what you want to have for your mage hero, right? So for sure, Youngming should be S tier and is S tier. Also, pretty surprising for a lot of players, I'm putting Kuma as an S tier. I believe Kuma is the tankiest infantry hero in the game. And in my opinion, infantry heroes' main idea should be as tanky as possible. And Kuma checks that box. I believe Kuma is the tankiest legendary infantry hero in Call of Dragons currently. Next one, I wanted to put Jorin as a A tier, but since the counterattack damage is so high, I'm putting Jorin as an S tier, simply because if you have maxed out Warped, Jorin can deal a lot of damage from the counterattack, and that's how you're gonna get a lot of merits with this hero. Of course, Wardun is amazing. I believe Wardun is really, really great. Some unique features on Wardun, especially first skill and the first skill. Single target damage, AoE damage, debuffs, buffs, everything what you want to have on your mage hero, Wardun actually has it. So Wardun and Youngmin, I believe, are the best mage heroes in the game currently. Neya, simply invisibility, camouflage, is such a unique feature of Call of Dragons. We should never stop thinking about it. It's a super great, even if you are running one cavalry march, that's good enough in my opinion. So Neya should be S tier and is S tier. Also, Agnar, as I said, Freya A tier because Agnar is S tier. Agnar is great with the ranged cavalry. Agnar is great with the melee cavalry, deals a lot of damage, usable with multiple heroes, and yeah, GG's. Agnar, Neya, and Urag will be for sure there, right? Urag is a G3 cavalry hero which has one of the highest amount of damage dealing abilities. Rage accumulation, splash damage, artifacts suits well, and in general I believe Urag and Neya with camouflage just destroys a lot of ranged hero pairs, and pretty fun gameplay, especially if you are running one cavalry hero pair for your account. And last hero, which I'm going to put currently in the game, best flying legendary hero is Seluna. Seluna actually deals huge amount of damage with cavalry, with mages, with archers even. So I believe only troop type which Seluna might not be as good is infantry, but I believe cavalry, archers, and mages are good enough in our case, right? So Seluna, especially legendary one, just smacks. She does so much damage. She basically deserves to be S tier for sure, right? So that's my tier list. I'm double checking if I made the mistakes. I might even make the mistakes because there is already so much legendary heroes in the game that it's so easy to make a mistake. If I did, you can easily correct me in comments, but I honestly believe that This is the tier list of the legendary heroes in the game. It's not tier list about legendary hero pairs, it's about legendary heroes one by one, right? So, yeah, I'm double checking. Well, Gromara can be B tier since Lilia is A tier for sure. What else? What else? Lucian can be B tier. Yeah, Musian can be B tier. I like healing a lot. What else? Toha, if you like Toha as a garrison, you can put easily on a B tier, but not as impressive as the other ones. But I believe this is the final version of the legendary hero tier list, and the latest heroes in this tier list is the newest mages, which are Vardun and Cantman, right? Of course, I'm interested about your ideas regarding this tier list. Maybe you have a different ideas. Share it, and as always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.